We started by mentioning that the web is safer today than ever before. A large part of that is the availability of filters. But first, I have to say that there are two types of people in the world. Those who are looking for trouble and those who aren't. If you're looking for trouble, there is no technology that can stop you from finding it. Everything is penetrable. No filter will be entirely successful. But if you aren't looking for trouble, filters are an important part of protecting you from accidentally stumbling onto something that you don't want to see, or from submitting to the occasional temptation to do the wrong thing. Temptation is normal. It means all your body parts are working right, but you need to withstand it. As we discuss filters and everything else, you have to remember that technology changes quickly. You have to keep up. But the very web that poses challenges also offers information on how to deal with them through parenting websites and technology websites. You need to have this conversation with your friends and be comfortable asking them questions and talking about these issues. You don't have to be an expert, but you have to be conversant. Now we're going to get a little technical because you need to know your options, just a little, but if it's too much, just bear with me because we're going to have some concrete, very simple recommendations at the end. So just keep up if you can. Okay, so as of today, there are three methods of filtering: time control, content filtering, and content control. Time control sets limits on the time when the internet access is available, and you can choose it. For example, you could decide to have internet access from 8 to 9 p.m. during the weekdays, or you could decide only from 3 to 5 p.m. on Sunday afternoons, whatever you want to set. And this can help prevent overuse of the internet, and also ensure that people only access the internet when other people are awake and might walk in. Content filtering blocks websites that are objectionable, and there are two ways to do it: blacklists and whitelists. A blacklist will block specific websites that are on that list, and usually you can add your own websites to that list. So for example, if you want to block sportsillustrated.com, you put that on the list if it isn't already blocked, and it will be blocked through that blacklist. Whitelist is the exact opposite. Everything on the internet is blocked, and then you put in a list of websites that you want to be allowed. So for example, you could put on AccuWeather.com and you could put thejewishpress.com so that you can only access the weather and your favorite Jewish newspaper. It's all up to you. Most filters allow you to choose either one, and additionally they allow you to choose categories of entire types of websites, such as gambling or social media. If you want to block them or allow them, it's up to you. Content control actively changes objectionable content on a website. It might block pictures, it might change profane words into exclamation marks, whatever you want. An important example of this, very important for the use of the web, is ad blocking software. With a simple browser add-on or a filter feature, you can block all ads on a page. And this is crucial because in my personal estimation, unscientific study, about 80% of the objectionable images on the web, and by objectionable I mean pictures that general society considers to be no problem, but we from Jews have problems with, we consider them immodest, about 80% of them are advertisements. If you get rid of those ads through an ad blocker, you've solved a lot of the problem. What do you do about the other 20%? There are a few options. First, don't look at the picture. Just scroll away or somehow block it. If that isn't possible, some websites allow you to see a printable version of the web page of whatever you're reading, which is text only. Or you could copy the text and paste it into a word processor. Some versions of ad blocker allow you to block all images on a specific site. Try right-clicking and playing with the options. It can work. Personally, I use a free service called Instapaper, which saves text for reading later. I click on the Instapaper bookmark, and then I go to the Instapaper website, and then I could read a text-only version of the web page. And there are many other services that do this for you also. Now let's talk about filters. This is where it's going to get a little complicated, but we'll try to make it simple. Imagine someone sitting in front of a computer. There are 5 ways to stop him from getting to objectionable websites. Number 1 is up here, good judgment. But you can't always rely on good judgment. Sometimes people lose their good judgment. Number 2 is a web browser that he's using to get to the websites. Through there. Number 3 is through the computer. Number 4 is through the connection at the house to the website. And number 5 is at the actual internet service provider. We're only going to focus on numbers 2 and 3 on the browser and the computer for now, just to keep it simple. If you want more complicated ways of doing it, you can easily find out how to do that. A browser-side filter is either a web browser or a browser add-on that controls which websites you can go to and which websites you cannot. There are many different versions, many different products out there. Some are free, some you have to pay for. The downside of them is that if someone uses a different browser, and the way to prevent that is to make sure no one can install, except for the administrator, which is you, no one can install another browser, and you do that by controlling the administrator accounts, which we'll get to in a few minutes. On the computer itself, you could also install a filter, which is supposed to prevent any user of the computer in any way from going to objectionable websites. There are ways around these, but there are ways of making them strong. Nothing is impenetrable. Another function many filters provide is the ability to monitor online activity. There are 3 types of activities that are monitored: website visits, search terms, and social network activity. The results can either be saved and available for an administrator to look at, or they can be emailed to a buddy who looks through them and makes sure that you're not going anywhere objectionable. Don't put too much faith in these, because it is very easy to go to one website and then within that site to go to another website, and that second site is not registered on these monitors. It is very easy. Anyone with Google can figure out how to outsmart a web monitor. Social network monitoring is particularly important for parents who wish to make sure that their children are not oversharing information that should be kept private. The filter keeps track of information posted to social networks, looking for keywords that may indicate whether the user is sharing too much personal information with someone inappropriate or planning inappropriate boy-girl activities. All browser-based and client-side filters allow an administrator to override the blocking by entering a password. If you find a site that you believe is objectionable, you can enter the password to access it by overriding the filter's control. This means that you must guard your password and change it regularly. Do not let your children see you type it in or give them any clue by which they can discover it. If you do, you have compromised your entire filtering system. Additionally, you absolutely must keep your operating system and antivirus software up to date. Otherwise, intruders can force all sorts of images and links onto your computer. If you have problems like that, call a technician immediately. None of these filters will accomplish anything if a user can easily deactivate them. At a bare minimum, you have to make sure that no users have admin control and therefore have only limited ability to install and uninstall programs. Create a separate administrator account for which only you have the password, and make sure that all other users have limited rights. There are more complicated ways to secure your computer. Webchaver.com has some good advice on how to do that. We can't cover everything today. You should also keep your computer in a public area where anyone can walk in and see what you're doing online. However, even with all these precautions, someone looking for trouble can easily bypass the security. In my opinion, every kid should be considered to have a chazaka, a presumption of looking for trouble. This means you should not assume that a filter will do the trick. We've already assumed a few times that you let your kids go online. But is that wise? Let's be real. Most kids, especially teenagers, are looking to explore their boundaries and rebel a little, maybe a lot. Should we put weapons of self-destruction in their hands? I believe the answer must be a resounding yes, but kids are going to go online. If they're intellectually curious, they will certainly take a trip to the biggest library in human history. If they like to play games, it's the biggest arcade in the world. And it has boys and girls and movies and TV. You think you can stop them? Free Wi-Fi is currently being installed throughout the country. New York has many spots, parks, libraries, Starbucks stores, where unfiltered internet access is available for free. If you don't give your children access, they will get it elsewhere. Let them satisfy their curiosity and have their fun in a safe, controlled environment where their loving parents often check up on them and talk to them about it. Because if they can't see what that website their friends are talking about at home, they'll see it someplace else. And if they can't explore the biggest library in human history at home, they will explore it someplace without a filter and without oversight. But you have to be smart about it. In my house, the internet is permanently blocked unless a parent unblocks it. And getting it unblocked involves answering 2 questions. Did you finish your homework? And what websites do you plan on visiting? If both questions are answered satisfactorily, we always unlock the web. I don't want my kids to have to go to the house of a friend with a less responsible parent, or to the library, or to his friend's iPod whose security they broke through. I'm still sure I won't win 100% of the time, but I've made it much more convenient to go online under parental supervision. I can't see any other realistic option. You also need to keep computers in common areas where the kids know you might walk in on them. Do not let them have computers in their rooms. You also have to discuss with your kids what they're doing online and what they're not allowed to do. Nothing is more important than rules and discussion. Make a list of rules, such as no Facebook, only certain hours, no boys or girls, whatever you decide on in advance, and then enforce the rules, with punishments if necessary. Sometimes sit beside them and do it with them. Watch whatever they're watching, play with them, whatever they're playing, do it with them.